Hey, what's up, digital marketing, community, consultants, marketers, agency people, or just people who want to be entrepreneurs? Dave here again, and we've got Austin Distel. Is that how you pronounce it? Distel?
Yeah, that's how you got it.
Distel. That's the
Yes.
French way. It doesn't know how much money you grew up with. It's Distel. Anyway, we got Austin here who is in the 6K Success program. Met him recently and actually got to hang out with him. And he came over and helped me move out of a place, which was pretty cool. So he's going to just kind of, I just want to kind of bring him on and have him share kind of his story a little bit, how he got into digital marketing consulting, what's been working for him, how he's had some recent success here, and I think you guys are really going to like this. So, if you're thinking about starting an agency, doing digital marketing consulting, going out there and just trying to make a couple extra thousand side bucks, even, you're really going to like this. Austin's a great guy, has a cool story. So, you ready to go, Austin?
Let's do it, guys.
Awesome, man. So, just kind of what I've been doing is starting before you join 6K Success, like who are you? Where are you from? And just how did you kind of get into marketing consulting?
Yeah, sure thing. So, Austin Distel, I'm actually still a college student over at the University of Georgia. And probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I was actually still a pre-dental major and was going down that route of being a specialist. And then I read a book that changed my life, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Literally the next morning, I went and changed my major to marketing after realizing the cash flow quadrant and how all of that works. I was kind of in that marketing zone. I had owned previous businesses before, and I really liked how dentists could own a business, but I kind of had that security when I realized the life that they were really tied down to. I knew that I wanted something more, and so thinking into the idea of like 4-hour work week and being able to travel the world and be able to build a business off of my phone or my computer really sounded like a cool idea to me. I started getting involved with other marketing groups and ended up going and seeing Gary Vaynerchuk at a conference. He really astounded me on how you can build a business online and doing YouTube blogs and things like that. And so really captured my attention. Probably within 2 or 3 years from there, I was building businesses on social medias, on Instagram, and ended up building my fraternity's business Facebook page. Was doing stuff there, and then built them a website, did their whole branding from scratch. I started like learning on how to do this stuff online, and I was just really binge watching YouTube, and learned how to build all these websites and stuff for my friends. Ended up charging small like entrepreneurs that needed a website down for like $500, not really realizing that websites take way longer than that. But it was a way for a broke college kid to make a couple extra bucks, and so started kind of going down that route.
And
And then
by the way, your fraternity's business Facebook page. I mean, what did that take you all of 4 minutes to create? I mean, like, what
yes,
is that? Upload a profile picture and put an address, and you're done.
yeah. Well, I ended up making them a logo and doing a photo
Gotcha.
shoot and doing all that kind of stuff, and
Okay.
started like making like a content blog for them, and then attaching a website for them. So it was kind of a big project for me, not knowing a thing about online anything
Hmm.
digital. Ended up making my emphasis though as a digital marketing student for my degree. So for the last year now, I've been really studying only digital marketing. So getting all my Google certifications and things like that, and now I'll be graduating just a couple weeks actually.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, dude. That's a lot of stuff for a guy who's still in college.
Yeah, you know what? I think that anybody can do it if you've probably got, 3 hours a night to just study at least on how to do it. And then during the day, send out a couple messages, prospect. And then if you know the right way to do automation, you can just kind of have it running at night where the next day you're just taking calls.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I love it, man. I love it. Okay, cool. So that's kind of what you were doing before. So you've got a couple different little business things, making a little bit of money, doing, marketing stuff, websites and whatnot. You kind of, had a branding agency, was a little bit more
Yep.
of your angle on things. And so did you already have clients before coming to Six Day Success?
I sure did. So, clients is maybe, I guess you can just say paying people, right? Because it was really how I built a lot of my business was your right branding. I would do things that are graphic design, stuff like that. And I didn't know how to code at all. I still don't to this day. I'm all on Squarespace. So that just shows you my skill set is not very big, but I did know what looked good, and I would just copy the best and kind of do that and reformat it. But I would do a lot of my friends' resume websites and like for photographers and stuff like that. So not too high end clients. And then a couple entrepreneurs hit me up and said, "Hey, we need an e-commerce website." And so I went on YouTube, learned how to do that, added in a couple extra functions, and that's kind of how I got into doing bigger websites and bigger projects. But I ran into that struggle of one on and one off, where I would do a lot of work in 1 month, but I had no time to sell and do work. And so the next month I would have nothing and I'd be back to being broke. And so I was in this awful roller coaster of 1 month I'd be killing it, the next month absolutely nothing. And then you came into my life, Dave, and 6K kind of changed all that for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How did that feel doing the like one on one off? And what was just like your feeling as a businessman at that point in time?
Well, hell, there's no consistency to it, right? Like I can't plan anything. I'm always saving up and then splurging, saving up and splurging, and it wasn't comfortable at all. And in true honesty, I wasn't building a business at all. I was just building kind of a job for myself, because there's no way to build up, a client base if you're only doing projects. So kind of with this 6K success model, I'm now building an asset rather than just kind of building a resume of portfolio stuff that I've done. It's
Gotcha.
totally different, and in the long run, it really is a game changer.
Yeah, gotcha. That's very cool. Okay, so how did you hear about 6K Success? What were kind of your thoughts initially, and how did you end up joining it?
So I had just finished 4 Hour Work Week, and so I knew that I wanted to build something on my phone or something that was online that was separate from time, place, and money. And so I knew that I needed to somehow get it off of myself, where I'm no longer doing the work. So I was going on to places like Upwork.com, which was, I think, once Odesk or something like that, because I found it through 4 Hour Work Week's link. And so I was like trying to find contractors and stuff, and I was trying to hiring, and actually I went all around campus like posting like flyers where I was like trying to hire people. And I actually like was in the middle of all this interview process, like with graphic designers and like webmasters and stuff like that.
You're an animal.
I was about to hire like 3 or 4 people, so I could go off and do sales. But then that's kind of growing like lateral. Like then I just have a lot more work to do and like managing people. And I wasn't even hiring professionals. I was just hiring like college students, so like graphic design students and the IT people that are coming out of the school. So it wasn't really the best model, but it was all I knew until I guess one day I was on Facebook and I saw a way, like I guess a free webinar or something by Dave, and saying that that you were teaching on how to create a good consulting business, where I was separated from that one-off and one-on model. And that's kind of where you got me, because first off, it was one, to learn how to do it, and it was the second thing on actually implementing it and giving me the resources to. And the number one resource that you can give me is your Rolodex of vetted contractors. And so I quickly sent out the email as soon as I started like doing your webinar to all the applicants saying, "Sorry, the position has been filled."
Really? During the webinar?
Not during the webinar, but within like the next like 24 hours, I'm like, I kind of had in my mind that
That's awesome.
This is really gonna help. So I went ahead and like sent out the mass email to all the applicants. There's like 40 applicants, and I kind of denied them all undercover.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Cool, man. Cool. Okay, so then what was it like joining? I mean, what was kind of your experience, getting in there, in the community, getting the content, kind of putting it into practice?
Yeah, so in all honesty, I was dead broke, and so there was like, as a college student, being able to get into 6K was a little bit of work, but I went out and just tried to find I found one good client, and worked my butt off for 2 weeks to get in your program, and I think 4 days into it, it already had paid off. I landed a $1,500 deal for Facebook ads. Ended up profiting, I think, like $700 on that, and then we had a couple add-ons to that. So I did like their photography and videography with that as well, which ended up me already paying for the course in itself. Cool. So I had already profited within 4 days of starting.
Dude, it's funny. I hear that a lot from people.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's everything to do with just how awesome the course is. I think there's something about like investing in yourself and like taking yourself seriously enough that you put some money towards your own life and your own, growth, and that you kind of, make that commitment. That I just think something super powerful happens when you do that, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to actually take this thing seriously and put my money where my mouth is and go do that. I hear people all the time say, like, 2 days after, I signed up, I hadn't even really gotten through much of the material yet. I already landed the client, or I'd already made my money back, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's very empowering, very empowering knowledge. You get out there and, for the first probably 3 or so modules, you already have enough to go out and talk to clients. And then you can kind of jump ahead and like send out the contract. That's kind of like what I did like right away because I didn't get through the whole course to be able to sign the first client. So It was like, probably just enough to be able to send the email and like tell them what they could do. Besides that, like I had no idea even like how to run a Facebook ad campaign or anything like that.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so sign that client. What has kind of life been like, past that? So it's $1,500 a month for that client. Yeah. And then what else is in the pipeline here, moving forward for you right now?
So with the 1,500, we actually just got onto our 90-day or our 30 days. And so we got great results our first round, especially using, a great contractor who just killed it. I think he spent total with 1,500 ad spend and 1,500 management. We ended up making him 30,000. So it's a 10%. What is that? 100 times return. I'm not even good with math.
You
right?
said you spent how much?
But he spent $3,000 total, like ad spend and management, and made 30.
So it'd be like 1,000% ROI, 900% ROI,
something like that. So he liked us a lot. Ended up wanting to increase his ad spend and add on an SEO service. So we're about to bill him for that. So that's going to bring it up to probably $2,600 a month, something like that. And then we have another addiction clinic in Florida who's really interested, and their budget right now is about $5,000 a month. And so hopefully we're going to rock that out in the next, probably 6-7 days or so.
Did you ever think you'd be working with an addiction clinic in Florida?
Never thought so, but you know what? Like they really need it, and what I like is that the course is very applicable to all things. So once you find your niche, it's just kind of becoming an expert in that niche and showing your results on how you get it just over and over again, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. And how did you get in contact with the addiction clinic?
That was actually a referral. So, a family friend reached out because they saw a lot of the success I've been posting on Facebook, and I guess word of mouth just generated and said, he actually ended up calling me and saying, "Hey, Austin, I know that you're, kind of new into it, but you're already getting results, and I like that because you're trying to prove yourself in that hunger." And so, it's cool how that quickly trickles when you make results.
That's cool. That's really cool. Awesome. So, how does that feel now? How does it feel now differently than you did when you were kind of doing the one-off stuff?
It feels good because it's now predictable, and I feel like it's like 1 + 1 = 11 now. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. And it changes because now I have one client and then I'm adding on another. So it's like my next month is almost double instead of the next month being back to zero.
Yeah.
It feels a lot better, man.
Yeah, totally. Like I think people don't get this in business when they're first starting out. But if you sign a client and you're making $1,000 a month profit, you kind of guess in this industry, you keep them on for 10 to 15 months. We'll say 12 months, kind of on average. You only have $1,000 cash, but you legitimately just made a $12,000 sale.
Sure.
And there's kind of the cash versus sales model. But I think when you start thinking about it that way, because that's actually what happened, it just starts blowing everything up, and you realize, oh, this is crazy powerful stuff here. I just made $12,000. And again, you won't get it all right away. You'll get it over the course of a year, but it's still $12,000, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's very cool. And I like how in the beginning, you do a lot of work that maybe you don't get paid for the first month, and then all the rest is kind of coasting on that first month's efforts. And so, it used to be where I would build a website, I'd knock it out in like 30 hours though, and then I would never get paid for that work ever again. Whereas in this model, a lot of the work is up front, maybe a lot of finding out what they are in the business, what their needs are, things like that. And then after you kind of got that locked down, it's more of just optimizing, and all the contractors kind of do that. By the end of the third month, what I've been told is they kind of just trust you after getting results for the first 60 days. They're like, he knows what he's doing now. I don't need to be micromanaging them or anything like that.
Yeah, dude, totally. So where do you see all this going? I mean, let's fast forward to 12 months from now. Now that you're kind of doing this, getting started, and growing this, I mean, where do you see all this going?
Well, this summer I'm going to be traveling a lot over Europe, and I really want to put that to the test for myself to be able to show that I can truly build a phone business where I'm mobile completely.
So you're traveling all summer.
It's
still running a business.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's people watching this right now that are just groaning as they get ready for work the next day. Just cannot believe you just said that.
Yeah, they're gonna be thinking about it the next morning when they're in their commute going down to Atlanta, and they're just like, "Oh, I hate this," and they're like, probably just dreading that cubicle job and knowing that it doesn't matter really where you are with a somewhat passive. It's truly not passive, but you put in a little bit of work now, and then in the later months, it truly pays off. And so I'm hoping to set a strong foundation so that over the summer, I can really continue to build more through referrals and really have my LinkedIn optimized.
Yeah.
That's the true goal.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Meanwhile, all your other buddies you're graduating with are all at Joseph A. Banks this week getting suits because they start their job in Atlanta, here in 2 weeks.
I'll be in my bathing suit in Spain.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And then I'm just curious too, why do you do all this? What's kind of your motivation? What's your drive behind doing all this?
Truly, the drive is freedom. And the freedom is not really just income. I mean, of course, that opens up options, but I wanted to be able to have the freedom to travel to any country at any time, just hop on a plane. And I want to be able to provide a comfortable life for my family if I, in the future and things like that. And I want to be able to walk into a store and not have to look at a price tag. That's be able to look at the menu from, left to right, not right to left, not having to worry about the prices first.
That's cool. Yeah. That's exciting, dude. Yeah, I was just talking to another guy about that earlier today about how he just wanted to buy sushi when he wanted sushi. And it's like, that's awesome. Like, that would be nice to just when you want sushi, you buy sushi. It's not going to break you. Very cool, man. Well, dude, what just kind of final question here. I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who's just kind of getting going in this? Maybe they've got a couple clients, maybe they don't, maybe they're doing websites, maybe they just want to be an entrepreneur. What would you kind of say to them? What advice would you give them?
I think it's kind of your rite of passage as an entrepreneur to make it work and find a way to make it work. Don't really let obstacles get in your way. If you say you don't have the money, you can find the money. I was a broke college kid, and I went out and did whatever I could to hustle and find the money to get started. If you don't have the time, I can definitely be a testament that you have the time. We all have 24 hours in a day. Figure out how you can maybe rearrange things, turn off the TV. It's not going to pay you back. I always think about everything that I'm doing. Is it going to take me one step closer towards or one step further away from my goal? And I can tell you that 6K is going to take you one step closer towards it. And so that makes it worth it.
Awesome, dude. That's good advice, man. Just keep pressing on. You can make excuses all you want, but at the end of the day, it's your life. And what do you want your life to be? Nobody else cares about you, as much as you care about yourself. And so, I like that, man. Take action, move forward. All right, brother. Well, hey, those of you guys that are watching this, if you're interested in 6K Success, you can go to 6ksuccess.com/program. Check it out. You get to hang out with fiery guys like Austin here. We'll see you inside the group and help you grow your digital marketing agency. And you'll be interested to see. I think it'll be fun to see Austin's story here kind of play out over the next 12 months. I think he's going to get all those dreams that he's planning for. So awesome, Austin. Well, dude, thanks for hopping on here, and we'll chat with you here soon, man.
Definitely. Thanks for coaching.
See you, man.
Bye.